Ladies and gentlemen, we interrupt our program of dance music to bring you a special bulletin from the Intercontinental Radio News.
We know now that in the early years of the 20th century, this world was being watched closely by intelligences greater than man's.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Bar at the Edge of the Universe. I'm your host, Adrian D. Maddox. And yeah, let's let's try this again. Last time this went well, it went well for sure, but it could have been much better. So last time we listened to we watched a movie from like the 50s, The Wasp Woman, and we kept getting cut off because of copyright, even though it was in the public domain. Whatever, we moved past it. Now, essentially, we're going to try and listen to old radio shows. So that's something I already do on my podcast. And I thought since we can't do movies, we can maybe try and do the radio shows instead. And then I can upload the audio from these live shows as a podcast later on. Hopefully it works out. I have no idea if we're going to get turned off again. But I guess we'll find out, all right? All right. But let's see here. This time I did not forget my Baileys, thankfully. Last, what was it, 2 days ago? Yeah, I forgot to bring them into my room, and I was like, oh man, so I didn't get to drink them. But it is what it is. So, I think we're going to be able to listen to a couple for sure. A couple different shows. Normally on my podcast, I listen to two. They're about 20 minutes each. Depending how we feel, we are probably going to listen to two, maybe three. It just depends. And this first one is called Honeymoon in Hell. I've never listened to this before. As always, this is a first time reaction. You guys are experiencing this with me the same time as I am. So I'm going to go ahead and get this started here. Turn up the audio a little bit. And I pressed play, so... okay, that's interesting. Maybe this MP3 file's not good. Okay, we might have to listen to a different one. Okay, so let's try. I have a whole bunch of these, so it does not matter. I think that one might be corrupted or something. Let's listen to this. It's called Death Wish. See if this works. Okay. Why is this not playing? I just tested this, so I know that it works. It's always got to be something, right?
I have it. Send the dial.
Wait, what? I can hear it. This is really weird. I can hear it through my desktop, but not my... Or I can hear it through my speakers, but not my headset. And you guys can't hear it either. What the hell is this? Wait, what if I did this? Now does that work? No. I guess I'll try my speakers. I mean, I don't.
All in order in the hole, boss. Cargo hasn't shifted. All right, Mr.
That's
Mitchell.
probably not going to sound
Maybe
good
I'm
though,
borrowing
because
trouble.
you're going to hear it
30
twice.
seconds to Point Baker, sir. Very well. Strap yourselves on the acceleration couches again. You sure you
Oh,
don't
I
need
fixed it.
anything, Mr. Watkins?
Not a thing, sir. I'll vouch for every bit of equipment on the Deidre.
Interesting.
15 seconds to Point Baker.
That was
Prepare
weird.
for new acceleration.
Okay. Sorry about that. I have no idea what happened. I changed my input to a different setting on my headset, so I guess it works now. Okay. Let's get this started. So we are listening to I guess we were going to do Honeymoon. So we could do that one. Yeah, Honeymoon in Hell. We'll go back to the original one.
Countdown for blast off. X minus 5, 4, 3.
It's always got to be something with this.
X minus 1. Fire. 5.
It's always... Alright. So... What do we do first? Do we do... Bailey's? Do we do... I feel like starting with Bailey's, you gotta save that as the dessert, right?
Tales of new dimensions in time and space.
I'll probably do
Stories of the future.
some Johnny Walker to start with, anyway.
From 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, presents
X minus.
All right, cheers, everybody. I'm not pouring this into a cup, so. Okay.
Tonight, the time is the late 1960s. The place, Washington, D.C. The story, Honeymoon in Hell.
My name is Carmody. I'm a Grade 1 cybernetics man at Western Alliance headquarters in the Pentagon. Used to be a rocket pilot, but they retired me at 27 after
Rocket
I made
pilot.
the third successful flight to the moon. As a Grade 1 cybernetics operator, I get to work with Junior. Let me tell you about Junior. He was built in 1962, and he's the world's finest electronic brain, with the possible exception of Ivan, the Eastern Alliance brain, which was built on stolen plans and modeled after Junior. There are only 4 men in the country permitted in the same room with Junior because the data we feed him is so secret. One of those 4 is the president of the Western Alliance. The other 3 are myself, Charlie Mazer, and the chief.
Ray,
Oh, yes, Chief.
have you got Junior running a problem?
Well, I just fed him the hourly data for probability of H-bomb war with the Eastern Alliance. He's ready. Hold it.
I really want to make sound effects for shows like this. That would be so much fun.
Of a hot war between the Western and the Eastern Alliance is 99.930 in favor of such a war breaking out within the next month.
Oh,
Sounds
jeez.
good, Chief.
Well, I'll scramble the data and send it to the Joint Chiefs of Staff. Meanwhile, here's a priority C civilian problem to run off.
Well, what's this stuff?
Well, it seems though on September 17th, a statistician in the birth record department of New York City noticed that out of 813 births reported that day, 657 had been girls, and only 156 had been boys.
Well, that sounds impossible.
That's what this statistician thought.
I'm
So
starting to
there are reports from other
recognize the
cities
voice
the same
actors
trends being shown, not only in
as
other
I
American
listen to
cities
these.
in Western Europe.
Sunspots, maybe?
That's for Junior to figure out. He's the brain here.
Okay, I'll feed him.
Give me the results on the intercom. I'll be in my office.
Right. I didn't really pay much attention to the problem at the time. As a Grade 1 operative, I was more interested in asking Junior questions on security, ballistics, missiles, rocketry, and so on. The Eastern Alliance would undoubtedly have traded 3 puppet governments and the tomb of Lenin to have an agent as a Grade 1 operative. But I took the birth statistics and fed them in and waited. Junior, incidentally, responds to vocal stimuli. Speaks 12 languages.
Damn.
Got the answer, Junior?
I can kind of speak one.
The present statistics, if the trend is projected for another day, indicate a definite dangerous imbalance. If the trend is irreversible, unless new methods of reproduction are developed, The population of the United States and Western Europe will die out in 1 1/2 generations.
What the hell was that?
Well, it wasn't long before the newspapers got the story and kicked it around. People in governments really started to worry now. Biologists and laboratories made it their #1 project. On September 29th, only 41 boys were born in the entire United States. During the month of October, in spite of all the work going on, not a single male child was born anywhere in the world, with the exception of one in Outer Mongolia and one in Alaska. November drew another blank.
Imagine if you're the last guy, though. Holy crap.
Every available scrap of data to Junior.
Data insufficient.
They're gonna plug you into a milking machine.
Well, here's the
Like, never mind.
A new analysis
That sounds
of
terrible.
structure indicates the presence of an additional electron in the orbit of the Y atoms for carbon chain X. Now try again. The question is, what is causing the lack of male birth?
Anything new, Ray?
No, not yet. Hold it.
Data insufficient.
Well, that's it. We've fed Junior every scrap of information that every physicist, geneticist, chemist, and biologist in this half of the world knows, and all he does is say data insufficient.
Yeah, well, the operator who had him last night didn't do any better.
Any more information on the Eastern Alliance? Have they made any progress?
No, but at least the talk of a hot war is dying down.
Well, they're still working on a space station, aren't they?
Oh, yes, we're both going ahead with that. But, well, this seems to be a common problem now. You know, in spite of hydrogen bombs and ICBMs, people don't really expect the whole race to die out from a war. But the complete lack of male children, now that's something that every family can understand.
Has anybody thought of the possibility of some kind of radiation from outer space that's damaging the chromosomes? Something our instruments can't detect?
What do you guys think it is?
Thought of it.
It's preventing this.
Proved anything.
Preventing males from being
Well,
born.
Keep trying, Junior. Maybe he'll come up with something.
Okay. Junior, I'm ashamed of you. Answer me.
Information recorded.
Look, you're a whiz on rocket fuels and space orbits, but when it comes to women, you're a total bust, just like me.
Yeah.
I don't understand them and never will.
Information recorded.
Preach,
Now,
dude.
you've convinced us that if we use the H-bombs in total war, both sides will lose, and we know that your counterpart in Moscow University has given the same information to the Eastern Alliance. That you can figure out. But women, you can't have genetics without women, right?
No.
Well, you know that much. What about that blonde at the party last night, huh? What about
Oh. I like where this is going.
Inadequately worded. Please clarify.
her? Did I see her again?
No.
What? You haven't even got any data on her. Why shouldn't I see her again? Answer, please.
Because tomorrow you are going to be married.
What? Get out of here.
Well, I almost jumped out of my chair. Junior had gone stark raving mad. Besides, Junior never made predictions unless he had some definite data. There wasn't a woman on Earth I had the slightest interest in marrying. I was a confirmed bachelor. So, unless somebody else had been feeding...
A confirmed bachelor.
Which was almost impossible since he already had enough data to check any flaw, well, I figured he'd blown a transistor. Come in. Oh, Chief, I was just going to tell you... Oh.
Ray Carmody, this is the president of the Western Alliance. Captain Carmody, Mr. President.
Glad to meet you, Captain.
Oh, I'm very honored, sir.
The president came here specifically to talk to you, Ray.
To me?
Captain Carmody, you have been chosen to have the opportunity to volunteer for a mission of extreme importance. Now, there's much danger, but not as much as on your previous trip to the moon.
He has to do it.
And this involves another?
The flight to the moon, Captain, will be the least important part of your mission. What's at stake here is the survival of the human race. Chief, perhaps you'd better explain the rest.
Well, you know the problem, Ray. Last night when Mitchell was on, we fed Junior some new data, and we asked some new questions. For example, we asked if the lack of male birth could be due to some extraterrestrial enemies of man.
Oh, Martian.
Oh.
We established
What with the...
that Martians have landed somewhere on Earth and set up radiation that causes all children to be females.
What?
You said it was possible?
Definitely. So we asked him the next question. How could we correct such a situation?
Mm-hmm. What'd he say?
Junior suggested that a married couple spend a honeymoon on the moon and see if circumstances are different.
Oh, I see. You want me to pilot them there?
Well, not exactly, Captain.
What the hell?
Oh, good grief. You mean you want me to... Well, Junior wasn't crazy after all.
You asked Junior?
He said I was getting married, but Well, how do you know it was me they'd picked?
He was asked the qualifications for the bridegroom. He recommended a rocket pilot who had already made the trip successfully.
Well, there are 4 other pilots who've made that trip.
You're the only single one. And
Ah.
the woman must be a qualified pilot also. And none of the wives are pilots. Well,
I assume I'm going to be married before we leave.
Naturally.
Oh. And,
Why would
how long
why would
do
they
you
have to be
stay on the
married?
moon?
Until a child is conceived.
Good.
Well, Captain, do you volunteer?
Is that just
I
like a
suppose
50s
so.
thing?
Well, wait a minute. Who's the other pilot? I mean, the girl.
Why did it gotta be
He
married?
was flown in by fast rocket an hour ago and is waiting in Chief Reba's office. Now, shall we go?
There were some officials there, and a justice, and my bride. She was small, dark, slender, and very attractive. I was so busy looking at the way she filled out her uniform in just the right places that I almost overlooked the fact that she was dressed...
Now
like
we're
a
talking.
Alliance pilot.
Woo!
Captain Ray Carmody, may I present Lieutenant Anya Borisovna?
You mean this is... an enemy pilot?
Pleased to meet you, Captain.
Yes, I'm pleased to meet you.
Was she like
Mr.
Russian or something?
President.
Captain, this marriage is being done on an international basis for important diplomatic reasons. Both alliances
enemy
have been advised
pilot.
by their cybernetic machine that the experiment, if it is to benefit humanity, must bring all the major powers together. Miss Borisovna is 24, an experienced rocket pilot like yourself, and quite attractive, if I do say so myself.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Now, if you're both ready, the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court will perform the ceremony.
Well, there's just one thing, Mr. President.
This guy just he got such a good deal.
Would you marry me?
Yes. And, you may call me Anya.
Okay.
Okay.
Mr. President, we're ready. I didn't even get a chance to kiss the bride. We were rushed over to the labs for a pre-flight
You don't gotta kiss.
physical. Then the chief took me aside for a private pre-flight briefing.
Congratulations, Ray. Sit down.
Thank you.
Now, 0 hours at 10 o'clock.
I can't.
Only half
What if
an
this
hour.
actually
We'll have this
happened?
several weeks now. The ship is ready.
This is
We've
kind
already
of
fired 11 supply rockets.
strange.
Observed that they landed on the moon near where you're supposed to put down. One of them contains a heat-proof, airtight, collapsible shelter where you'll live.
Uh-huh. Oh, what's the ship like?
R-26, much better than the R-24 that you flew there. Last time, Ray, you took 4.5 Gs for 7 minutes. This time you'll get by with 3 Gs and have 12 minutes to accelerate to Brennschluss.
So is there
you'll
like
have
somewhere
enough
on the
fuel
moon
the
for them
trip. One
to
of the supply rockets has your return
like
fuel.
do it?
Oh, yes. We put in a case of scotch and a...
Is it like a moon base?
just as an icebreaker.
Before we go, Chief, what would you have done if I'd turned this job down?
The cybernetics machine predicted that you wouldn't. Besides, we could have had 100 volunteers an hour after seeing Anya Borisovna.
But they're not pilots.
Careful. You're speaking of my wife.
Get out of here. You're speaking about my wife.
Are you both strapped in?
Anya, you strapped into the webbing?
Yes.
Okay, Chief.
The time is X-15. I have a message from the President. Quote, "The people of the world are watching. Don't fail them. I have messages
No
from
pressure.
the Soviets, the Chinese, the British, the Indians, all wishing you well. You are the hope of mankind, and all mankind unites as it has never before united in giving you its blessings. We await your return anxiously." Unquote. X-5. 4. 3.
Here we go. Blast off.
2. X-1. Blast
Fire. Oh!
The sound that was beyond all sound struck us like a giant muffled hammer. It built up until we weighed 480 pounds. Pressed
We gotta take a drink for that.
Sound and pressure went on and on interminably. Then we reached Brennschluss, free of the pull of Earth. I'd like to. When I came to, a lovely face was bent
Oh,
over
yeah.
mine. Two dark eyes smiling at me.
Are you all right, Ray?
Oh, yeah. Are we weightless?
Yes, yes. I shut off the fuel. We won't need it until we land.
Oh, thanks.
Wait, what?
If you would teach me, I could help you land the ship. I've
Yo!
never been to the moon.
Well, sure. Just slide over here to the control panel.
Hold on a
Like
second.
this?
I think I just did something.
We've got about 4 hours Earth time to get acquainted.
Wait, try that again. Just
No.
make sure.
Thank you. You, had any boyfriends?
One or two.
Well, I was never really serious about anybody.
Oh.
You,
Oh, God, no.
have a family?
Yes. In Magneto.
Oh. I'm from Brooklyn.
That's not what I thought it was.
How long have you been a rocket pilot?
Oh, since I was
Ugh.
18. I'm 27.
I think it was just like the aftertaste
I learned rockets when I
was like good.
Well, we
Ugh.
better concentrate on the ship just now. Later on, we can.
When I mixed
talk about
them,
ourselves more.
that was not right.
Meanwhile, though, I hope you're not sorry. I mean, about this business. I guess it isn't very romantic.
I'm not.
Man, you're going to the moon, so first humans
We
to
made a good landing. It
bang on the
knocked
moon.
either of us unconscious. Then we got into our spacesuits and got out of the rocket. Some of the supply rockets were lying within a quarter mile. There were 6 eastern rockets and 3 westerns. About 800 yards away, though, there was a big supply rocket we couldn't identify. It looked different from the others, and neither of us could identify it as an eastern or western design we were familiar with. I pointed to it, and we headed there. Recognize that supply rocket?
No, I was not briefed on anybody's standard still in the shade.
Well, it must be something the chief of staff sent up as a surprise for us. I figured about 50 feet long, but you can't see the rocket tube.
It might be a payload from a stepped rocket assembly.
Uh-huh. Well, there's a door on the side, anyway, you see? The top of that ramp.
Oh, yes. Maybe we ought to observe it a while before we go in.
Oh, nonsense. Come on.
Ray,
Yes?
He's ready.
Ray, I'm frightened. There's something wrong with it.
Only one way to find out, Anya. Let's go. Well, there's some kind of lock on this door.
Should be some sort of twist.
It opens. Wow. That was easy.
It's lighted inside.
Mm-hmm. Come on. Maybe they sent us a surprise cottage for the honeymoon. Special delivery to the moon.
What the hell?
This doesn't look like anything designed for humans to live in. Ray! The door's closed behind us.
Try the lock.
No, it's no use.
Here, let me try.
Can I just say that has a terrible Russian accent?
No, I have no weapons.
They would be useless
Whoa!
anyway.
Ray. Oh, look.
Good grief. They look like blobs of flesh with arms and legs.
What?
About 3 feet tall.
Don't make any sudden moves. That's some kind of weapon he's carrying.
Precisely, Captain Carmody.
Who are you? How do you know my name?
My people and I are inhabitants of another galaxy.
Extraterrestrial.
Precisely. As for how we know your name and your language, we have been studying you since you first achieved space travel. We have intercepted your radio communications, for example.
Have you been responsible for the lack of male birth?
We have been beaming an ultrasonic wave toward your planet.
What are you planning to do?
For the moment, we will keep you aboard our ship and study you. You may remove your helmets, incidentally. We have provided an oxygen atmosphere.
Can we risk it?
Well, if he wants to kill us, there are easier ways. He'll help me get it off.
What the heck?
Well, it breathes pretty good. Keep your helmet with you.
You may make yourselves comfortable. We will bring you food and liquid from your supply rockets. Do not attempt to escape, please. It could be most unpleasant.
Jeez. So they're captured. He's not gonna get some.
The blobs left us to ourselves except to feed us.
This poor
But
guy
it had
can't
its
catch a
funny
break.
side, too. The creatures knew we needed liquid, but they couldn't distinguish between water and whiskey. For the first 2 days, we had nothing but whiskey to drink. For obvious reasons, I don't remember much about it, but we did begin to sing to each other.
What?
We also got to know and like each other. I got to learn some Eastern songs. On the third day, the jugs were water jugs, and we sobered up. Oh, what a hangover.
Did they do it?
You were singing magnificently.
Oh, well, you weren't so bad yourself. How long was I asleep?
About 8 hours. Ray,
No way they did it while they're being watched by aliens.
What? I think studying the blobs. They seem to have a 5-hour sleep period when there is no sound in the ship. I've tried banging on the wall with my helmet during that period, but apparently they're almost completely unconscious during others.
Mm-hmm. 5 hours sleep. That means a planet with approximately a 20-hour rotation. The Joint Chiefs will want to know that if we get back.
And more important, we're much stronger
Wait, what?
physically than they are. I can actually bend the metal of the door lock.
Well, now, what are we waiting for? Let's put on our helmets and get out of here. Are they in the sleep period?
Yes, for about 3 hours.
That was quite an assumption.
We don't have much choice. I'll go ahead. If we get out of this ship, you run for our rocket and start to refuel. I'll keep an eye on the blobs.
All right, but Ray, please be careful.
Don't worry. Before you put on your space helmet,
Yes.
you realize I've never even kissed the bride?
Yes. Oh, Ray.
Good luck, Mrs. Carmody.
What the hell, dude? I did not like that. I did not like listening to that.
By the time I reached the ship, Anya had the rockets refueled. I jacked up the tail fins and we headed for space. When I checked our screen to see if the blobs were after us, we detected their ship heading toward the outer galaxies away from Earth. The rest was easy. In less than 24 hours, I was in the office of the President of the Western Alliance making a full report. The Eastern Ambassador was there, along with the Chief.
Captain, this story is incredible.
Well, I'll be glad to submit to a lie detector, Mr. President.
There's one on its way.
Our embassy is questioning Miss Borisovna right now to see if her story is similar.
Are you positive they were extraterrestrials? I mean, couldn't they have been, well, Easterners?
If Easterners
Get
are
the hell
3 feet
outta
tall,
here.
without bones and look like little green blobs of protoplasm.
Yes. It's for you, Ambassador Crockett.
Thank you. Yes. 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 Yes.
Yes.
Our woman tells the
Yes.
same story under scopolamine. It must be the truth.
Obviously, they went back for reinforcements or further orders. If and when they get back, we've got to be ready for them.
My government stands ready to cooperate fully.
Excellent. We'll have to build a joint space station, get to the moon, and fortify it jointly. If we pool all scientific knowledge, military data, we may be able to do it.
Our propaganda ministry has already received orders to put everything into reverse gear.
Comedy, I don't know how the world can ever
What?
thank you and Miss Borisovna. You not only averted a suicidal war between the East and West, you've also managed to draw us together in a joint effort where international power politics must be a thing of the past.
Well, sir, I have a request to make.
Anything, my boy.
I want to touch on that after
Your
this
wife
show.
on the way over.
I'd like to get back to Junior to ask him a personal question before I see her again, if you don't mind.
Well, it's rather odd, but I suppose if it's what you wish.
I need to write that down so I don't
Would
forget.
you let Captain
I
Carmody
don't have a
operate the cybernetics machine
pen or a
alone for
pencil.
few moments?
Right this way, Ray, boy.
I waited until I was alone with the big cybernetics machine. One green dial glowed malevolently as if the instrument was aware of my presence. I opened the input channel and spoke. Hello, Junior. This your old friend Ray. Give an appropriate answer.
Hello, Ray.
Now then, you remember Miss Borisovna, the girl who was selected for me to marry. Item 1, she's going to rejoin me in a short while. Item 2, I've fallen in love with her. Item 3, before we actually
No, you
live
didn't.
together as man and wife, I want to know something. Question. Does she love me?
Yes.
No.
Oh, that's my boy. Now then, just one more item before I say so long and take a honeymoon.
It's been like 4 days.
Why do I have a hunch that those blobs from outer space will never be back? Answer, please.
Because what you call a hunch comes from your own unconscious mind. Your unconscious mind knows that the extraterrestrials do not, and never did, exist.
What?
Do you wish the answer repeated?
I wish you to tell me
Wait,
why
what?
I saw them, why Anya saw them.
Neither of you saw them.
Amplify that answer, Junior, or I'll smash every tube in your memory bank.
Since I am an
Oh, shit.
AC-7 cybernetics machine, I have no circuit reactor for threats of destruction of my tubes. The answer to your question is as follows. The memory of extraterrestrials is due to post-hypnotic suggestion.
You mean I was hypnotized to find those blobs on the moon?
Correct.
What?
And just who hypnotized me?
I did. I hypnotized you.
Oh. And Anya?
A similar AC-7 cybernetics machine located at the University of Moscow.
Would you explain why?
Cybernetics machines are constructed to help humanity. A major war, the disastrous results of which I could accurately calculate, was inevitable unless forestalled. Calculation showed that the best way to avert that war was the creation of a common mythical enemy.
Aha.
Therefore, I created a situation which led to your mission.
Oh,
to the
God.
moon.
Wait a minute. You created the situation.
Yes.
Well, tell me how you did it. How did you prevent male babies from being conceived?
A special modification of radio carrier wave for station JVT here in Washington, D.C., the only 24-hour-a-day radio station in the United States. The modification is not detectable by any instrument known to man at present.
Well, how could you do that? You can't leave here.
1 year ago, you yourself fed me a problem. The design of a new cathode tube for radio station JVT. I modified the tube to send out a wave that would prevent male children from being conceived.
So all we have to do is eliminate that tube.
It will not be necessary. The tube was designed to burn out exactly 15 minutes ago.
And the same thing happened in the Eastern Alliance?
Precisely.
He sounds like Smug.
Will always arrive at the same answer to the same problem.
Oh, Junior, I gotta hand it to you. But why let me in on it?
It is to the interests of humanity to know the truth. It is to your own interests. And you will tell no one because of the type of individual you are. Mankind will work together now to reach the stars.
One last question, Junior. If Anya and I were just hypnotized to think all of that was happening up on the moon, what really did happen up there? I waited a while, but Junior was silent. It's the first time he ever pulled anything like that. However, I'll swear that I saw that green eye of his wink at me.
What? What's that supposed to mean?
You have just heard X-1.
I don't know.
By the National Broadcasting Company.
I don't know what that was supposed to
in
hint at.
cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, which this month features Butterfly 9.
That was good. That was actually really good.
The story of Jeff.
Who wrote this story?
And a man with a job to offer. One where giant economy.
I can pull it up, actually.
Fake make, bumsy, and peaky.
Oh.
Galaxy Magazine.
Hello.
Stand today.
Good morning.
X-1 is brought to you.
What was this one called?
Hell,
Oh, thank you for answering so quick.
By Frederick Brown and adapted for radio by
December 26, 1956. Frederick Brown.
Wendell Holmes,
Okay.
Charles Penman, Leon Janney, Roger De Koven, and Jack Grimes. Your announcer, Fred Collins. X-1 was directed by Daniel Sutter and is an NBC Radio Network production.
But all right, let's finish this real quick.
To keep the fight against heart disease moving steadily forward, you're urged...
No, we're not listening to ads. Okay. That show was actually really good. I'm surprised. I don't know if we've listened to any by this gentleman before. But yeah, that... I don't know about you guys, but I think that might be up there with one of the better shows that we listened to. Yeah, that I'm very, very impressed. I did want to touch on I didn't write it down, but luckily I'm not so far gone that I can't remember anything. But the idea that like an alien threat could bring humanity together, that's a pretty common thing, I feel like, in sci-fi. I want to say that correct me if I'm wrong for any of you bookworms in here, Ender's Game, Orson Scott Card, don't they touch on that a little bit? That humanity has come together to fight the buggers, and that having this common enemy is actually really good because we put aside our differences and we work together. And even though the buggers were not a threat anymore, just having that same goal was like really productive for humanity. And it kind of makes you think like that could be the case, because imagine what would happen if humans actually put aside our differences and we had to accomplish something like right now. And like an alien threat is like an existential threat, right? So whether it be, you know, an alien threat or maybe some like, I don't know, end of the world scenario, like maybe an asteroid, or you guys see that movie like 2012 where there's all sorts of like crazy natural disasters, the world's coming to an end, and then yeah, like something like that. I think humanity could really band together and accomplish great things. And it's just like, but we're not going to do that unless we have a reason to. We're just going to fight amongst ourselves over stupid stuff, like stuff that is not even important. That's like how 99% of the stuff we fight about is, I feel like. But I mean, I'm no expert on the subject. You guys let me know what you think. But it's really cool that they were thinking about this back then in the 50s. The show came out in 56. And it's based on a short story. So I'm sure that short story came out a few years before that. I mean, yeah, it's kind of like when sci-fi was like starting to take off, it wasn't as big of a thing back then, and these writers already had these ideas that we still think about today. And I don't know, I find that really interesting. I love listening to these old shows. Yeah. And I specifically love the shows like this that make you think they have more to say and you could talk about it. There, I don't know if any of you guys listened to my one episode. It was not a live episode because this is my second live episode ever, but it was just a podcast that I have, and we listened to one where I guess like technology becomes self-aware, right? And they take over the world essentially, and this robot is explaining to the main character like his plan, and he says that he's going to link all the buses together and like crash them into people, but they didn't have internet or anything back then, and none of the buses are like connected in any sort of way. So that didn't make any sense. I mean, I'll give it to him. Like, I mean, I talked about this in the episode, but yeah, like it's the 50s, so it obviously supposed to be sci-fi. So maybe they are connected somehow. I don't know. But at the very end of the show, the boss, I think it's the boss of the main character, he gets strangled by a telephone. They lost me after that. I started dying laughing. It's just the mental image of a telephone. Like, think of like one with like the spiral cords, and it just like strangles you and kills you. What the hell? Oh, so like shows like that, there's nothing really else to them. They're just kind of like, I don't know, mindless entertainment, in my opinion. It was still interesting to hear, but you know, not the best. But stories like this, where it's an interesting story, a lot of cool stuff going on, but then there's stuff for you to think about and discuss and maybe look at something in a different light that you hadn't thought of before. That's how you know that it was written well. And I'm sure this gentleman has written other really good stories. But I think we could start a second one. That one only lasted, I think, let's see here, 28 minutes. That's actually one of the longer ones that we've listened to. Oh, excuse me. So, yeah, let's do another one. Let's do. I'm seeing some of the ones we already listened to. Some of them are so good. This one looks weird. It's called Lulungamina. Lulungamina. Let's listen to that. Yeah, let's do it.
Countdown for blast off. X minus 5, 4.
And
2.
Hold on, I want to pause it for a second. In the future, hopefully one day once I start getting like more followers and stuff, what I plan on doing is having polls. So I don't know if you've seen it, but like YouTube can do like vote. There's like polls where you can vote and like your subscribers can, cast a vote, which is pretty cool. I'm gonna do that with retro sci-fi nights, and maybe some other topics as well. But essentially, like, you guys are going to be able to vote for which episodes to listen to. Because there are a lot of old-time radio shows. So I could maybe throw up, like, a list of, like, 5 or something like that. I'm not exactly sure how it's set up on YouTube. I don't have the capability yet because my channel's so new. But I could set up a couple, and then you can, like, pick throughout the week. And then... once it comes to like Thursday or Friday or whatever day I finalize on being like the perfect day to do this, we'll go ahead and go with your guys' suggestions. So I'm really looking forward to that and getting you guys like involved with it. So that'll be pretty cool. But let's go ahead and get this one started. I already forgot the name of this. Look, of course, Lulungamina. There's a reason I forgot that because it's is that a word? Does that mean anything? All right, let's press play. Let's take a drink, though. Every time we start a new show, we gotta take a drink. It's for all my viewers out there. To you.
From the far horizons of the unknown come transcribed tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future.
Yeah.
Adventures in which you'll live in a million, could be years, on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation
Turn that down a little
with
bit.
Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine.
Let me know if the audio is like messed up or you don't like it.
Minus 1.
I don't know why people don't like Fireball. Like, it's so smooth. It's so easy to drink.
Lulungamina by Gordon R. Dixon.
Lulungamina is what he said. Lulungamina. Lulungamina.
Blame
Yeah.
Clay Harbank, if you like, for what happened at Station 563. Or blame Bill Peterborough, the one we called the Kid. I blame no one. I'm a Dorsai man. That means I was brought up on one of those tiny planets a million light years from nowhere. Being a Dorsai man is quite a responsibility. We are a very polite people. We have to be. Because when we get angry, we fight to the death.
Okay.
It all began that evening that Clay Harbank began reminiscing about his home planet, Lulungamina. We were sitting around the recreation room of 563.
okay.
There was a card game going on in one corner.
Lulungamina. The very name sounds like music, doesn't it, Mort?
You know me, Clay. I'm a Dorsai man.
I've been in the Dorsai planets. I've seen them all knocking around this universe for 35 years. But when it comes to sheer beauty, Lulungamina.
How long since you've been home, Clay?
Home? 20 years, Mort. 20 stinking, miserable years. Well, that'll be over soon.
Another 10 days. You gonna miss old 563?
Miss this godforsaken little asteroid? Not for a minute.
We'll miss your ugly face around here. At least I will.
I'm gonna miss your gloomy Dorsai puss, too. Mort, why don't you get out of it? You've had more years in space service than any of us. You've probably got enough credits to get out, too.
Me? I wouldn't know what to do with myself.
Couldn't you go home?
You should know better than that.
The Denebrian trouble?
The Denebrian trouble?
You could go to Earth.
What for?
Ever been there?
Never once. And I've never wanted to. I've seen too many Earthmen. Like the kid over there.
I like this setup.
He's green in service.
He's full of greed and stupid hate like the rest of them. That's not for me.
Looks as if the game's breaking up. Here he comes.
Well, if it isn't the big gambler from the Windy Planet. What's its name?
Lulungomina.
Yeah. How's the piggy bank coming, Dad?
So they're on an asteroid.
He's a gentleman, kid. He never overeats, so he won't ever get indigestion.
Sour grapes. You see this wad of credits? 500. How long you have to work for 500 credits, Dad? How many trips you have to make around this asteroid? How much closer to falling your grave you have to come?
You look as if you made a killing.
I always make a killing. I'm a natural-born gambler. And I don't just talk about it like some.
I think I'll go out and take a turn around the station, Mort.
Fine, I'll go with you. It's, stuffy in here.
I wonder what these guys look like.
I'd rather be alone.
They said they don't like Earthmen. They talk like them, so maybe there's some sort of similarity. I don't know.
Reputation as the hottest gambler in the systems. Comes from the most beautiful planet in the universe.
Why don't you lay off him? Kid, let me give you a piece of sound advice.
Go ahead.
Lay off Clay Harbank. He's been around the systems a lot longer than you have. He may not be any chicken, but he's a tough baby when the situation calls for it.
You trying to scare me, Mort? I thought you Dorsai guys were smarter than that. I'm beginning...
No, look, kid.
No, look. No offense, Morty. I mean, I wasn't trying to insult the Dorsai people or anything. I gotta go do a flight check. I'll see you.
Why does that smell so good? Yo, someone in my house is cooking, and it smells so fucking good. That's fucked up. Why are they doing that to me? Hold on.
The man had applications for transfer in already. But I told the kid about Clay being tough. Well, that was a bluff to keep him off.
Hold on.
Nobody knew better than I did that Clay was burned out inside like a used-up rocket.
That's fucked up.
I put on a spacesuit and went out to join him.
Oh, hi, Mort.
Hi.
Beautiful night, huh?
Nice.
Back on Lulungomina, on a night like this, the rakish flowers open up.
You can't be bothered to answer.
There are 6 moons, and every one of them is like a yellow...
Yo, you guys are cooking out there. That's fucked up.
Mom and Dad and I used to live on the edge of a lotus pool. Here I go talking about home again.
Garlic? Hold on. Say hi to everybody. You got 2 million people listening right now. What? You're about to be famous.
You could come with me, Mort.
Clay, tell me something.
It's a brie and garlic grilled cheese
You
sandwich.
ever get the urge to gamble again?
Damn.
Do I get the urge?
Where's mine?
Mort, you ever watch a man who's been on PON for a while? When he's broken the habit, you can't
Oh
get
my
near the
god.
stuff.
All right, well, thank you.
Yet, the same man is liable to go back on with no provocation.
Say I have to make my own. That's fucked up.
Well, that's the way it is when you've gambled all your life.
I figured.
Maybe that's why I keep talking about home. Every time I hear the kid flipping those cards in the recreation room, I start talking about home. Have you noticed?
I've noticed.
But this time I'm going to make it, Mort. I tried 3 times before.
That smells so good.
This time I've got the dough, and I know I'm going to make it.
Think you will, Clay.
You know what did it?
No.
Lulungomina. That's what saved me this time. The thought of that beautiful planet.
Well, when you get there, you can send me a photo tape. At the rate we get visitors, it should reach me in 5 or 6 years.
You'll be out by then. You'll be home.
I'll never go home, Clay. Never. Well,
that's Red 4.
Screens must have picked up a ship in the galaxy.
I hope I didn't miss anything important.
Yeah, keep us from going local anyway. Coming in?
No, I think I'll stay out a while.
Well, I'm going to check the screen. See you later. Red 4 meant simply that a ship was entering the galaxy. The chances of it touching down on 563 were pretty remote, unless it happened to need a clearance for Earth or Mars. The screen was black by the time I got there, but the kid was filing a report.
Oh, hiya, Mort. Hey, what's a Hixabrod like?
Why?
We're having one for a visitor.
You don't say.
I just came in over the receiver. What'll he be like?
A Hixabrod? Stiff as a poker, proud as Lucifer, honest as sunlight, and tight as a camel on his way through the eye of a needle.
What do they look like?
Oh, they're kind of humanoid, but they have a deadpan face that never changes, like a mask.
Oh, they're a little scary, I hear.
Oh, that's a green skin and the scales. Also, they run about 8 feet tall. I wouldn't tangle with one if I were you. Back on Denebria once, I saw a Hixabrod rip a man to ribbons with its claws.
Why?
Jeez.
The man made the mistake of insulting Hixa. That's one of the twin planets they come from.
Everyone is like really patriotic for their planet.
They're a very level-headed race. You know the Hixabrod reputation, don't you?
No, you didn't hear much about him on Earth.
Well, they're the first and only mercenary political arbitrators in the known universe. A Hixabrod can be hired, but he's absolutely incapable of being influenced or bribed. He tells the cold truth and nothing but the cold truth. And, brother, when a Hixabrod tells you the truth, it's plenty cold.
It really lets you have it, huh?
They're a small race and very much in demand. If some kind of political dispute comes up from planetary to inter-alien, both sides hire a Hixabrod to represent them. That way they know the other side is being completely honest.
Oh, that's very interesting, you know. Very interesting.
Yes, it is.
I could tell there was something on the kid's mind, but of course I didn't know what it was.
I'm starting to feel it a little bit.
Most of the talk in the recreation room that night centered around the arrival of the Hixabrod. Landing beacons were turned on, and we waited for another radio communication.
Hey, anybody want to sit in on this next hand? What?
No, thanks.
Well, I know better than to ask the galaxy's foremost gambler here.
That's right, kid.
Well, maybe when this Hixabrod gets here, we'll be able to work up a decent game. Do Hixabrods gamble?
No, kid, they don't gamble.
That's too bad. Well, we can always sit and listen to you lying about what a beautiful place La Lungamina is.
Kid, you just went too far.
Yeah, you're going to do something about it?
That's right, I'm going to punch your little nose.
Oh, shit.
Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm okay.
You better get to the infirmary. Have your mouth taken care of.
What the?
Kid, you
Why
got
is he
your
picking a
quarters.
fight
What are
that
you
he
getting
can't
on?
win?
I'm telling you to get to your quarters.
You better do what he says, kid. He's a Dorsai man.
That's all I've been hearing since I got here. What big gamblers come from La Lungamina and how Dorsai men are killers. So far, I've seen nothing, but I heard a lot of talk.
You're gonna get to your quarters? I'll give you 5 seconds to start moving.
You better go ahead, kid.
Okay, Maud. I'm letting you bluff me out of the game this time. Just remember, there's going to be other games. Next time, I won't be bluffed.
I need to sit back in my chair. I need some back support. Oh, there it is.
You left the recreation room.
Yeah, buddy.
I felt a slight and not unpleasant shiver run down between my shoulder blades, and my eyes were still hot. I'd almost lost my control that time, and my senses told me I'd better be careful. For the next 3 days, the tension of 563 was almost unbearable. Clay Harbank seemed to age 20 years after the kid knocked him down.
Now hear this, all personnel. Now hear this, all personnel. A ship is approaching for flight check. A ship is approaching for flight check. Report to Central. Report to Central.
Well, this is it, Clay. We're getting the Hixabrod.
Seems almost like home having a Hixabrod with us. They're all over the Tarsian system, you know.
To speak Hixabrod?
You have to on Lulungomina.
Oh, I didn't know that.
The orange outline around my body is like kind of hilarious. I'm not
Long
gonna
time
lie.
ago, huh?
We're not getting younger, Clay.
Yeah, I found that out.
If I get a green screen, will it be better, or will it just be a green
Sure.
outline?
And I'm just a dumb old man.
Ah, forget it. Ah, that's touchdown. You ought to be here in a minute. That does it. He's down.
Look at that ship, huh?
Let's go. You'll need some help with his baggage.
I think this is fun. I think the movies was better because obviously YouTube is a visual platform because it's video. But
The cabin door slid back,
hey,
and the
what can you
Hixa
do?
stepped out.
They shut us
He was
down,
as
so
green and scaly as a lizard.
Maybe once I get big enough, I can get like specific, like special permission to be able to do those old movies.
I was the first to greet him. Belt the Hutch and Hicksabroad. Welcome to this place.
Even though I don't need permission because it's public domain.
My name is Mort Bianski.
I am called Dorlassus.
Come. I'll show you to your quarters.
Thank you.
How long will you remain here?
Only for one night. I wish clearance for Mars.
I'm sure it can be handled. This way.
I'm starting to get rowdy, guys.
I was a Dorsai man. And then it seemed obvious. My broken nose, the scars, the lined face. Nobody could mistake a human from the Dorsai planets. Still, it scared me a little. I kept wondering if he had anything to do with interplanetary police. I tried to put it out of my mind. It was no use. Mind if I come in, Clay?
Sit down. Have a smoke.
Thanks.
Where's the Hicksabroad?
In his room, getting cleaned up for dinner.
Strange guys, aren't they?
Well, there's something even stranger going on.
What's that?
The kid's in there with him.
With the Hicks?
Mm-hmm.
What do you suppose they're talking about?
I don't know. I wish I did.
Kid's probably trying to get the Hicks into a dice game.
I doubt it.
What's on your mind, Mort?
Hey, you've been around. Are there any Hicksabroads in interplanetary police?
A few. Why?
I don't know. I just had a feeling, you know.
You're dreaming up bogeymen.
Maybe.
Besides, you're not in any trouble outside the Dorsai system.
I killed a human, Clay.
Not deliberately?
In a rage.
Happens all the time on Dorsai, doesn't it?
Not to an officer of Intergalactic.
Besides, that was 25 years ago.
There's no statute of limitations in the systems.
Nobody knows but me, right?
You don't have to be clairvoyant to wonder why a man hasn't been back to his home planet for 25 years.
You, think the kid...
I don't know. He's got no love for me.
Still, he doesn't know anything. How would he know this Hicksabroad is an agent, if he is?
Couldn't say.
Where are you going?
Well, I think I'll take a look at that message the kid filed. The one we got when we first picked up the...
This kind of reminds me,
Let me know
and
what you find.
I might be stupid. Might be. It kind of reminds me of Leviathan Wakes. Because they're on an asteroid, and then there's like a police force.
Messages are kept, and flick the tab
So the same thing.
Notices of arrivals. There, 2 days
but
before,
different
was a
story,
report
but
of
like
the
same
arrival of
setting.
Dorlassus. I ran my finger down the statistics.
Not even the same
until I
story,
came
but
to the line that said point of origin of flight. It read Tarsian Galaxy.
yeah, I'm feeling it.
That was where Clay Harbank.
I think that's obvious.
I read further, where it said nature of business. My blood ran cold as I spelled out the words criminal.
Come in.
Belt the Hutch and Hicksabroad.
I greet you, Dorsai man.
Is there anything you require?
Nothing, thank you.
I came to tell you that we'll have dinner tonight at 800 hours.
The young Earthman has already informed me.
There's a shortage of raw meat here.
I've brought my own food, thank you.
I see you came in from the Tarsian planets.
Yes?
You didn't happen to be in the Dorsai planets before that?
No.
Oh, I thought perhaps you might have some news.
I came from intergalactic headquarters.
Yes, I saw your flight check.
Then you know my mission.
Yes.
Good.
How long do I have to pack?
I will be leaving at 700 hours tomorrow morning. Can you be ready by then?
Yes, I guess so.
Good.
I don't suppose there's any point in appealing to you. Hicksabroads are supposed to be totally without emotion.
There is no point in appealing.
Funny thing. I've been running away from this moment for 25 years, and now that it's come, I'm glad. We'll be going back to the Dorsais?
Yes, to intergalactic headquarters.
For all these years. Home. I don't suppose a Hicksabroad knows what that feeling is like.
I will expect you at 700 hours. Now, if you don't mind,
I don't think he
wish to
cares.
prepare my food.
One thing.
Yes?
Did the young Earthman tip you off about me?
No.
Funny. I could have sworn it was him. That was that. When a Hicks-Abroad tells you no, you can bet your life he isn't lying. I began to wonder how they located me. I began to wonder what he and the kid had talked about. I began to wonder a lot of things.
Well?
He's an agent for Intergalactic.
Well, that doesn't prove he's after you.
He is.
How do you know?
I just talked to him.
Lord in heaven.
It isn't so bad, really. Just think, I'll be going home.
I'm going to kill that kid.
Clay.
I'm going to kill him.
Clay, listen to me. The kid didn't turn me in.
You said...
I said he was talking to the Hicks. I just asked him. And the Hicks told me it wasn't the kid.
They don't lie.
So don't go blowing off.
It's going to be hard. 10 days.
It doesn't have to be 10 days.
What do you mean?
How many credits do you need to buy your way out?
Another 500? Next payday?
Don't wait.
Don't wait?
I have over 900 credits. I'll turn them over to you.
Mort.
Listen, I don't need them. You can pay off tomorrow and fly as far as the Tarzan chain with me and the Hicks.
It's a very nice thing, Mort.
Will you do it?
I'll think about it. Let you know after dinner.
I like this story, I'm not gonna lie.
I thought of running away, but there was really no place to run once they tracked you down. And the Hicks-Abroads were utterly relentless once they'd agreed to bring a man in. Since they had no feelings, they made no judgments. They were absolutely certain that a man would get a fair trial. I packed my stuff and went into dinner. The Hicks-Abroad was at the head of the table eating his raw chinsu meat.
Pass the gravy, please.
Dorlassus.
Yes?
They tell me that the Hicks-Abroad home planet is a very beautiful place.
It is true.
Well, I'm from Earth myself.
Yes.
I'm curious to know what this beautiful planet of yours looks like.
The kid's pretty talkative tonight. What's cooking?
I don't know, but I don't trust it.
The flora and fauna are maintained in excellent natural balance. No local surplus has exceeded 1% of the normal population for the last 60,000 years. Life on Hixa is predictable. The weather is controlled within the greatest limits of feasibility. The symmetry of the landscape is without parallel in the universe.
Very pretty picture. Very attractive home world. But I regret to inform you, Dorlassus, that I've been given to understand that it pales into insignificance when compared with another beauty spot in our universe.
Your Earth?
I wish I could say yes. No. This place is so wonderful, I doubt if an Earthman like me could get in. In fact, I've never seen it. But I've been hearing about it for some months now. And either it's the most wonderful place in the universe, or the man who's been telling me about it is a rotten liar.
Get your gun, kid. Get your gun.
What's wrong with this guy?
You call me a liar.
Why use guns when it's possible to prove the thing one way or another with complete certainty? For months now, you've been telling me two things. One, that you used to be a gambler. Two, your precious Lulungamina is the most wonderful place in the universe. The question is either statement true?
They're both true.
You'll back them up?
With my life.
I'm not asking you to back them with your life. Just back them with that nice little hoard you've been accumulating all these years.
Clay, don't.
Well, you said you were a gambler. Bet with me and prove it.
Oh, shit.
Suppose I do.
What is wrong with this
How do we
guy?
prove my statement about Lulungomina.
It's easy. We have with us at this table a Hicks-Abroad. In a conversation with him, I found out that he's just visited every planet in the Tarsian chain. Now, as everyone knows, a Hicks-Abroad never lies. Do you think you could judge this point, Dorlassus?
The point can be judged.
Well, gambler.
Clay, it's a trick. Don't bet.
How much will you bet, kid?
All I got. The equivalent of 10 years' pay. Well?
You're on.
Dorlassus, okay if I question you?
That's a lot of credits.
You've been to the planet in the Tarsian chain, which this man calls his home?
I must ascertain the position of the planet.
The fourth planet.
Ah, yes. The one with 6 moons.
That's it.
I've been there recently. As you well know, since we spoke of it only this afternoon.
We did speak of it, that's true. Now, will you tell me, you know the planet?
Yes.
You know its geography?
I do not repeat myself.
Is it a large planet?
No.
Is it a rich planet?
No.
Was there not a rain of radioactive fallout from an explosion of a nearby star only 5 months ago?
There was.
Did it not destroy every piece of vegetation and leave this planet a gutted, smoking ruins, charred and ugly?
It did.
Well, gambler,
You haven't asked him the main question yet, kid.
would you like to ask him?
All right. Hixabrad, the question to be judged is this. Is Lulongomina the most beautiful and the most wonderful place in the universe?
Yes. It is.
What?
Well, kid?
It's a trick. It's a rotten trick. I don't believe it. The Hicks is...
The eyes of the Hixabrad were narrow and baleful as he pushed back his chair.
Oh,
You could
shit.
almost feel them burning as he dragged his scaly feet over toward the kid. He stopped about 6 inches from the kid and held both his hands up, palms near the kid's eyes. There was a clicking sound, and we watched 11 sets of gleaming razor-like claws shoot up from the tips of the Hixabrad's fingers. Their points were almost against the kid's eyes.
Look at my hands, Earthman. Are they not clean?
Yes.
Do you doubt that I have told the truth?
No.
No.
Then there is nothing further to discuss. I bow to you, gentlemen. I thank you for your hospitality. You will excuse me.
And then that is when you whip.
We stood around and watched that proud, frightening figure drag itself out of the room. The kid was trembling like a leaf as he drew a bank draft for 10 years' pay and handed it to Clay Harbank. The next morning, Clay and I boarded the Hixabrad ship, and 4 days later, we touched down at the outer planet of the Tarsian chain.
Well, this is where I get off, Mort. I don't know what to say, really. I guess you know how I feel.
Think I do, Clay? Let's just say so long.
There will be no need for goodbyes.
What?
Both of you are leaving the ship here.
But I thought
I intend to return to intergalactic headquarters empty-handed.
Empty-handed? But they'll question you. What will you tell them?
The truth, of course.
But
you have told me nothing.
But I assumed...
I am not interested in your assumption. You asked me my mission. I told you it was a criminal investigation. You said you assumed you would go back with me. And I told you when my ship was departing. There is nothing more to be said.
But surely you know...
Mort,
Fair enough.
Don't say anything. The Hixabrad deals only with facts, what is absolutely known. They're the most literal beings in the universe. Let it go at that.
Goodbye, gentlemen. I am grateful for the pleasure of your company.
Oh, okay.
5 minutes later, Clay Harbank and I shook hands at the exit of the spaceport on Tarsus 10. But before we parted, there was one thing I had to know. Clay, one thing before you go.
Yes?
How did you know the Hixabrad would lie about Lulongamina?
He didn't lie, Mort. The Hixabrad never lies.
But Lulongamina...
Mort, let me tell you something. Lulongamina is a word in use throughout the Tarsian planets. Actually, it's a Hixabrad word. It means home. All I did was ask the Hixabrad if home was beautiful.
What?
He simply said yes. And
Ooh,
the
thank you.
Hixabrad, as everybody knows, doesn't lie.
Holy crap, look at this. Get a close up right here. I don't know what this is.
You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, which this month features the Finn O'Donovan novelette Bad Medicine.
My God.
The story of a robot therapist that never failed to effect a cure, even if it had to convert itself into a typhoid Mary to do so. Galaxy Magazine.
I gotta enjoy a few bites of this. Hold on.
Tonight, by transcription, X-1 has brought you Lulongamina, a story from the pages of Galaxy written by Gordon R. Dixon and adapted for radio by George Lefferts. Featured in the cast were Ralph Camargo, Ned Weaver, Jack Grimes, Bob Hastings, and Kermit Murdoch.
Why is this cheese
Your
like
announcer, Fred
water?
Collins.
This is crazy. Why is it so melted?
X-1 was directed by Daniel Sutter.
I wonder if I'm burning my
and is an
mouth right now.
NBC
I shall
Radio
know it.
Network production.
Dude.
X-1 came to you from our
My God.
Radio City studios in New York. Next week, listen to Project Mastodon.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie.
Story on X-1.
I'm not entirely sure what happened during that episode.
Follow the news with Chet Huntley tonight on the NBC Radio Network.
It seemed cool, though. Hey, I'm gonna be right back. I need a quick break real fast. Thank you guys for understanding. I've been drinking for the last hour, so you know, nature calls. And we are back. So now the question is, do we listen to another episode? Or are we done? My God, this is so good. I mean, I guess we could, I don't know, you guys tell me, do you want me to do another one? Or do you want me to, just go to do it on Friday? Because I might do it again tomorrow. I'm just enjoying this sandwich. My God. That episode was decent, but I really kind of missed half of it because I'm just like not all there right now. So I think movies are a little bit better. I think listening is harder than watching. When we were watching The Wasp Boy, I was pretty far gone and I was still tracking what was happening even at the end of the movie. Wow. That was really good. But I don't know. Yeah, I mean, we listened to 2 episodes. It's been over an hour. I mean, I could stream like all night long, but I'm not going to. I think what I'm going to do is maybe tomorrow night we can listen to 2 more episodes. And I mean, I have a lot of episodes saved But if we do more than 2 per live stream, we're gonna run out eventually, like pretty fast. So kind of spread them out a little, and I don't know. It'll make it it'll be fine. Most of my podcasts are around an hour, so it'll match up. Yeah, I think that's good. So you guys get to listen to one of my drunk outros again. So I don't envy you, but you chose this. You're here, so I know it's awkward, but yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end it. Guys, go ahead, follow me on all the social media, especially TikTok. For some reason, my TikTok is it's just popping off right now. I don't know why. I do like space facts and stuff, so if you find that interesting, go ahead, hit me up. I post the same stuff on YouTube Shorts, so I mean, you can still see it just on YouTube, but anyway, yeah, I'll catch you guys on the next episode. Peace.